only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Ask not what your country can do for you.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of For the Republic. We are your hosts, Nico and Brittany Fideli.
I'm still Brittany.
Still Brittany.
You're still Nico.
I still identify as Nico.
I still identify as the
birthing
person.
Yeah.
Birthed person. I don't know what was past tense of birthing person.
Birth. I think we're all birthed people, right?
We were all birthed at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you identify as someone who's not birthed? Like, can you?
Maybe I should identify as the milk person now.
Milk person. Oh,
yeah.
Because you're producing milk.
Right. So like that. Did you ever see that video with the trans couple? And the guy who was transed into a girl was trying to breastfeed the baby, even though he was literally a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because he was identifying as the milk person.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not going to identify as a milk person, so you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about me stealing your thunder.
Yeah. You have sensitive nipples, so.
Yeah, I do. I don't even touch them.
I think it's a guy thing.
Yeah.
I was going to go somewhere, but yeah. Anyway, I think it's a guy thing.
Even when I'm in the shower, I kind of just work around them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let the water do the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read this thing that said that you don't actually have to use soap on most of your body. Just allowing the soap to flow over your body cleans you enough. I don't think that's.
I don't think that works for everybody.
I don't think that's okay.
I think people
I'm just saying I read it.
There's people in this world that have, I think, tried that theory and they realize that.
Yeah.
They don't realize, but they should realize that it's not working.
Yeah. Most of them you pass when you go to like those what are those things where there's businesses they have places set up where you can go shop.
I think all businesses have places.
No, I mean where you can go shop where it's like all together, you know?
Oh, like a strip mall or something?
No, like in the summer. The markets.
Like a farmer's market.
Yeah, farmer's market. Yeah. I think most of the people who don't use soap, they go to the farmer's market in the summer. Yeah.
Oh, all right. So
that took a long time to set up, and it really failed. So
yeah, look out when you go to your next farmer's market.
Yeah.
I had
for the stinky people.
I had someone tell me that, not to get too morbid, but police officers, when they know that they're going to investigate like a murder, or they're going to see like some gruesome stuff, they'll like put like Vicks vapor rub underneath their nose, to block out the smell.
Yeah. I've always thought that like being a cop would be kind of cool, and then I think about the people who like urinate when they're being arrested or like spit on cops and stuff, and I'm like, yeah that's not the life for me.
Yeah, it's sad.
I thought about nursing too, and then when I realized you have to do like a whole section on sponge bathing people, I was like, not for me either.
A whole section, a whole semester of sponge bathing.
Yeah, you have to do like you have to do like a whole portion of like a class on it. And I knew this girl who I was friends with this girl when she was in nursing school, and she was like talking about the sponge bathing portion, and like they have to practice it.
Yeah, I wonder if people fail.
Sponge bathing?
You failed the sponge bathing.
Yeah, you get a D in sponge bathing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it would kind of be cool to be like. I feel like when we were in the hospital though, like the maternity, like the birthing and like the maternity section, those nurses were awesome. Yeah. I don't know if they have to do like as gruesome stuff.
Yeah. Well, shout out to the Samaritan maternity wing staff.
They were awesome.
They were good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got nothing but good things to say about them.
Yeah. Every nurse we had was great. Yeah. They were just great people. They made our experience very very cozy.
Yeah. Well, guys, welcome back to another episode. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Click on the bell icon to be notified when we air a new episode, which will be
in that order
every Sunday night, 7 p.m.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Subscribe.
In that order.
If you don't want to comment, you can skip that part. The subscribe.
Now comment.
Yeah, we do want comments, though. We do want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
Give us ideas for the show. Less work that we have to do, the better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Been kind of lazy this week. But, fatherhood, motherhood, got a lot going on. Lack of sleep, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But,
very tired.
But I feel like everybody has been kind of focusing on a couple of things on the entertainment world.
I feel like they've been focusing on one thing.
One thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I wore this.
Your shirt. They see it. Yeah. Hug life. Nice. Very nice.
It's my thug shirt.
Your thug shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I think
It's appropriate for the week.
Yeah. Well, if in case you guys didn't know, the Oscars was last Sunday night.
Nobody knew that until Monday.
Yeah, nobody knew that until Monday.
There was literally not one person on the planet who knew that the Oscars were on Sunday.
I work at a TV station, so I work at the TV station like that airs it. So, well, not the specific one, but the network that airs it. So, I knew that it was coming. There was no way I could not know it was coming. But yes, typically, most Americans did not know the Oscars was on.
Unless you're fancy schmancy.
Yeah, unless you're one of them elite.
Did you hear that their gift bags are worth like $133,000? It included a plot of land for the nominees. It
included a plot of land.
Included a plot of land in Scotland with a title. So now all of I believe the nominees all have some sort of Scottish title with a small plot of land. I wonder if they have to pay taxes on it. And how would you sell that? Like, if you were like, I don't really want this plot of land that I have to pay like $50 in taxes every year, whatever it is. How would you sell? Because it's probably like just like a foot. It's probably like a square foot of land or something. You know what I mean? Like just enough that you could get a title.
I would imagine they would have to accept the gift, right?
I don't know. I don't know if you.
Someone can't just buy a piece
like,
of
give
land.
It back. Just like, nah, I don't.
Could someone buy a piece of land for you and just say, here? Go ahead and pay the taxes on this.
But they also got they got a vacation to Scotland as well.
Okay, yeah, that would entice me to get the gift package.
Yeah, they got a vacation to like a place in California. It's a luxury vacation. It's like a 3-day, 2-night or something like that, or maybe it's 4-day, 2-night or 3 nights. But it was a luxurious vacation package. And it's worth $15,000 alone. Yeah, their vacation to California.
Huh.
Yeah, there was some neato stuff in there.
It is. Wow.
Yeah.
I guess just for being nominated, you don't even have to win.
Yeah. I feel like we should just nominate ourselves.
Yeah.
Maybe we should nominate ourselves for like podcast awards and give ourselves gifts every year.
That's one sad life. You are one sad, strange little man.
Yeah. Well, you got to do something to feel important.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So what is so? How did the Oscars get into everybody's world? Because the majority of people don't watch it. So.
Well, I think what happened is that the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air got into another fight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
One little fight.
I'm not sure if his mom got scared though.
Yeah. That was
there was that meme.
In case
That's why you can't say anything.
In case
about
you've
my
been
wife's
living
hair.
under a rock and you have watched our podcast before watching what actually happened, I commend you for that. That's awesome. But in case there's anybody out there who don't know what we're talking about,
I don't think you can miss it though.
Yeah, Chris Rock, who is the host of the Oscars, said a joke about G.I. Jane, and that it was a movie. I don't know who the star is, but
Demi Moore.
Demi Moore, yeah, she's like shaved head. She has a shaved head in the movie.
She shaves her head to be more.
I don't know.
Tough, I think.
BA.
I don't know. I've never
That's
seen
what the kids say.
Never seen it.
Yeah, never seen it. But anyway, so Chris Rock is talking about Will Smith's wife, Jada, right? Is her name Jada? And she has a shaved head for medical reasons.
Yep.
She what is the condition she has?
Alopecia.
Alopecia. So.
Which is like it's what happens when the immune system attacks your hair, and it just basically causes your hair to fall out. And some people, like for instance Ryan Shazier, former Steeler member, he has no hair at all, no eyebrows, no hair on his head. Right. Some people lose like portions of their hair, or have like patches of their hair that are missing, and I believe she's among the patchy individuals because she still has.
Because it looks like she's shaved.
She's still got stubble. Up there.
So anyway, Chris Rock says, "Jada, you're looking good. G.I. Jane 2.
G.I. Jane 2 or whatever.
Can't wait to see it."
Yeah.
So, I mean, didn't say like anything derogatory really. I mean. And so everybody was laughing. It seems like it was
I guess except Jada,
yeah, except Jada.
who had just days before said, "I'm proud of my bald head, and I don't care what anybody says about it."
Yeah.
But apparently she does care.
Apparently she does care. She didn't find that too funny, and even Will Smith himself found it funny
Until he
until he saw Jada's face, and then she gave him the attack look, right?
She gave him that look when you
Yeah.
just know
You
know
gotta
it's
do something.
you know there's trouble, man.
Yeah, no, it was like if you've watched it, it looked like she was like the thug,
Mhm.
like like the ringleader.
Like the kingpin.
Yeah, exactly,
Mhm.
like the kingpin, and like she was like giving Will Smith the look that you
Yeah.
got to do something about this.
Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah.
And so Will Smith was like, "Oh man, I can't remember who I was watching. It was some podcaster. But he was like saying that Will Smith, like I guess, like there's a video of Will Smith saying that like women do something to him as far as like being able to think clearly, like something like there's like some sort of rage that comes out when a woman is like one of his women are upset or something like stupid like that. Like it's coming from his own mouth. So Will Smith is thinks that he has to do something, he has to prove something, and just slaps, or just walks up there.
He just
walks
storms up there, man.
He didn't.
And you could see Chris Rock was like, "What the heck's going on?"
Yeah, what the heck is going on? And then Will Smith just wails. Open hand slap.
Keep my wife's name out yo. He doesn't even say out of here. Out yo.
Bleep mouth.
Bleep
Yeah.
mouth.
Yeah, and so
So now he's moving to Bel Air
he's moving to Bella
with
with
his
his
auntie and uncle because he's in trouble.
He's in trouble. So since then, the fallout has been he's withdrawn from the Academy, whatever that means. So I guess maybe he can't win any future
Probably.
Oscars.
I don't know.
I mean, once you won one, who cares?
Yeah. I could say that to Leo.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean, like Will Smith was one of those ones that was like Leonardo DiCaprio, where it just took forever to get one.
Yeah.
Like there's plenty of
Poor
performance.
Leo. He lost out on so many good movies
Yeah.
because somebody else just swooped in with something
And
great.
he
You just see the devastation every time.
the Oscar that Leonardo DiCaprio won was like Wolf on Wall Street, wasn't it?
Was it that or was it for The Revenant? Was it Revenant?
Ooh,
I think it
maybe
was.
it was.
I think
The
it was.
Revenant.
I think it was Revenant because everybody was like he had to sleep outside in a dead animal in order to win an Oscar. I'm pretty sure that that's the one. Is it Revenant? Revenant, I think is the movie. We're doing some research here, folks.
Yeah, Oscar win.
Stay tuned.
Best actor in 2016.
Yeah,
for the Revenant. Okay, so that's a little bit more reputable than Wolf of Wall Street.
I think he was nominated
Yeah, I
for
think
Wolf
it
of Wall
was,
Street,
yeah.
but he didn't win that one. It was the Revenant because there was that joke because he actually there's a scene in the movie where he actually sleeps inside the dead animal. I think it's a horse.
maybe
Like his
it's
horse
been a while
dies.
since I saw
I
it.
think his horse dies.
Not a great movie, but his performance was awesome, and the movie.
I thought it was boring, but it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a beautifully shot movie. Everything is natural lighting,
And his
all that
performance
stuff,
is
and his
great.
performance is great. Yeah, it was a definitely one of the best looking movies.
I love Leo. I think he's one of the greats.
One of the greats.
Yeah, as far as acting goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio
Yeah,
was
like
good.
morally, it's terrible, but
Most of them are.
But no, yeah. So.
But yeah, so there was a lot of controversy, surprisingly, about the slap.
Yeah.
And
there's some Will Smith defenders.
Yeah, there's some Will Smith defenders and there's some Chris Rock defenders. I feel like most, I would say 99.99999999999% of comedians who came out and said something are in defense of Chris Rock. I don't know anybody who's either like known or even semi-known that have come against Chris Rock.
I feel like even just with regular people, it's probably like an 80-20 split. Like I feel like most almost everybody sides with Chris. There's a few people who are like, oh well, Will Smith was standing up for his woman, and then my response to that is by assaulting someone, because really, like I think in probably 99% of situations, assaulting someone isn't the way you stand up for someone. If like he wanted to stand up for him, it would have been much more powerful to make a statement following the Oscars saying like, hey, this was hurtful, and we want to reach out to anybody who's going through the same situation that she is. You know, you're beautiful, blah blah. I think that would have made a much bigger impact and been like more like a better way to reach out to people. But instead, it just caused like the reaction caused so much controversy that really it like completely misses the point.
Yeah, and like media and daytime television shows are kind of at first were leaning towards the side of allowing Will Smith to do what he did, not necessarily maybe agreeing with what he did, but at least coming to his defense. We're like, hey, look, he's got to stand up for his woman. Chris Rock shouldn't have said something like that, and you know, Will Smith was really offended. And I feel like the people that buy into that message are people who are not living real life. You know what I mean? Like they have social media personas, they live on social media, they live in the online world, and that's so far from reality. And like you can say all you want to somebody, you're blue in the face, like, oh, don't say that about me again, otherwise I'll punch you in the face. I'll come find you. Where do you live? You know, all that
I
stuff.
feel like you were just imitating me when it's late at night.
But you know, like
trying to sleep.
people talk like a tough big game when they're like just typing on their keyboard.
Yeah.
But like that's not real life.
I venture to say most people that were in support of Will Smith, had they been the ones that got slapped for something they said, they would have a much different reaction. Yeah. They would be like, okay, I'm going to have you arrested for assault, you know? So I think that people, it's really easy for people to say like, oh, well, Chris Rock deserved it. But like if they were the ones in Chris Rock's shoes, I highly doubt that they would feel the same way. They'd be like, wow, he just assaulted me. Like that's illegal.
And so like
jokes are not illegal. You know what's illegal? Assault.
There's a couple weird things that stick out to me when I first saw this on Monday morning. Like when I first saw it, I was just like shocked. Like I was like, what did I just watch? Yeah. And the next thing that went through my mind is, where is like security? Yeah. And then the third thing was when Will Smith was sitting there talking to Chris Rock, and then the whole room was silent, and you can hear Will Smith yelling, like the uncensored version, you can hear Will Smith yelling, and he's still just sitting there. Like nobody's approached him or anything. Like that to me was like really crazy. And I know Will Smith has the status that he has, but like to me, like I feel like if that was literally anybody else, right? That was like some Joe Schmo, like lighting director that nobody's ever heard of, just walked up there and slapped Chris Rock. You better be certain that somebody is going to intervene. And then
or I venture to say most other actors of
even most other actors.
Persuasions.
Oh, you mean like white people? Yeah. So if they were white, and that's you bring up that point, and actually Whoopi Goldberg said on The View that you know, obviously I don't care for her opinions, but she said a really good point that the Oscars didn't do anything because it would look like they were targeting a black person. Yeah. And that's exactly right. Is that?
But she was standing up in defense of that. Yeah. But then at the same time, she also says, your problem isn't with black people, your problem's with Will Smith. And it's like, well, you can't have it both ways. You can't say that they can't escort him out because then it looks like they're escorting out a black person, but then also say your problem isn't with black people, it's with Will Smith. Yeah. Well, like, it's one way or the other.
I think,
you know?
Whoopi Goldberg just doesn't have opinions. She just spews at the mouth.
She does.
Like, see what sticks.
Well, you know, the Holocaust wasn't about race, so.
No. Nope.
According to Whoopi Goldberg.
But if Will Smith got escorted for assaulting somebody, it would have been about race.
Out of the Oscars, it would have been about race. You can kill like 6 million Jews, and it's not about race. It's not because you're trying to create the perfect white person. It's not because you're trying to eliminate an entire group of people. No, that's not about race.
When a black person slaps another black person, it's about race.
It's about race. That's why you can't escort them out.
But yeah, so like the expanding on that thought, and you can like rabbit trail this for a while, but just like it to me, like that's exactly how these institutions, that's like the society we are in America right now, is that these institutions don't know what the rules are.
Right.
Like they're no matter what happens, like it's like you have to think about, okay, is the mob gonna come for me?
Right.
Like you
Yeah.
can't even think about what's sensible and what's the right thing. You
Mhm.
have to think to yourself, is the mob gonna come for me
Right.
for doing this? And that's exactly what the Oscars were like.
Mhm.
Is like, do we
Yeah.
do something, or
Right.
is this gonna be racist if we do something?
Do we do something? And then when they announce the best actor later, and Will Smith has been dragged out of the Oscars, like how awkward is that going to be? Like I'm sure there was just this whole idea of mob rule and how is this going to be received? And it's kind of funny because their lack of doing something has actually probably garnered them the most criticism
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because they didn't do anything.
Right.
And people are like, well, why didn't you do anything?
Yeah.
Because if it's about race, then there's a problem there. So yeah, I think that probably has garnered them the most
Yeah.
criticism.
And no, I honestly think that there were plenty of ways that they could have handled this better without being controversial. Like I mean, even if they let
Taser,
taser, rubber bullets,
BB gun,
what are those?
airsoft. They should airsoft guns.
Yeah,
Just I think they saw what happened. They saw Independence Day, and they were like, "Oh, Will Smith might win this fight, so
Oh.
we can't go after him." Yeah,
Like,
he's taken out a whole species of aliens.
have you seen like one
in
of those?
two different alien movies, and he's really good at fighting aliens. So
Have you seen one of those shotguns that police departments have, where like it shoots out?
shoots the beanbags.
Yeah, it shoots out the beanbags. Yeah.
That'd be so cool. I'd love to. Never mind. That's probably promoting violence. My dream on my bucket list is to taser someone. So I would really
Yeah.
love to like
I think
eventually.
I think you've even said that before on the show. This is something you
Yeah.
think about often, isn't it?
It is. It is. Sometimes I dream about it.
There's just so many people you'd
Yeah.
want to taser.
Yeah. If I ever was terminal, I would think of the person that I disliked the most in life, and I would find them and I would just taser the snot out of them because I'd be like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna die anyway.
Yeah.
Be like that Queen Latifah movie where
Hide
she
your
gets
kids, hide
she
your
gets
wife.
diagnosed with brain cancer or whatever. It was like a faulty diagnosis, but she gets diagnosed with brain cancer and she just like goes and lives it up, and then she ends up
Yeah.
like having a great like experience
Yeah.
because she's living like she's
Never
dying.
seen that. I've never seen that.
It's a cute movie. It's like a romance
Yeah.
movie.
Well, so like one of the things I love about the internet is that they'll take anything and they'll just make it a meme. And one of the things that I saw on YouTube that I want to share with you guys is what the slap would be like if there was ragdoll physics. I mean, this is great. I love this.
Richard.
And that to me is just like most video games that have ragdoll just over the top. You know, that was perfect. That made me laugh out loud. So yeah.
I saw one.
What was one that you saw?
With Chris Rock getting with his face turned and the slap. You know, like the still image.
Oh
The
yeah.
still meme image.
Oh.
Said Coach K's last victory run.
Yeah.
And then Will Smith's hand was UNC.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
Yeah. It's great that you humiliate me in front of all of our 2 fans. Yes. Those watching who don't know, I am a Duke fan, and Duke did fall to their arch rival UNC, giving Coach K his first loss that he ever had with Duke and his last loss that he ever had with Duke. UNC is
It's
responsible
kinda
for
poetic.
both. It is poetic.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then like Coach K is gonna in his old age burn down UNC and like take swift revenge.
Yeah.
Pop all the tires on the team bus.
Yeah. The only problem with that is that it's like literally 2 miles away from his campus. So
Yeah.
like it would be like just trashing his own town.
Yeah. But then everybody would have to go to Duke.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
It's a win-win, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow. We are not condoning.
ups the enrollment at Duke.
Just for the record, we're not condoning anybody to burn their arch rival school.
we're not condoning violence.
Yeah.
We're not Will Smith.
Yeah.
We only slap each other for pleasure.
Our podcasts are mostly peaceful.
I should get fired from this show.
Oh man. Well, moving on. moving on. What do you want to talk about next? Do you want to talk about? Let's talk about this next.
Let's talk about the Daily Wire.
Yeah, the Daily Wire.
Daily Wire's got a lot going on lately.
Yeah.
It feels like just a year ago they were like simply a few guys with podcasts.
Yeah. So that's
Popular podcasts.
Yeah, popular podcasts.
And they got the good-looking Michael Knowles.
But yeah, so Daily Wire, Axios reports that the Daily Wire is pouring $100 million into kids' entertainment.
Mhm.
So
They said cancel your Disney Plus subscriptions.
yeah.
But I mean, I probably wouldn't cancel them yet because their first show doesn't come out till the fall. So
Oh, is that? Well, I'm glad you
Cancel it.
knew that because I
cancel
didn't
it
know
in the
that.
fall.
So
Yeah, I
it looks
believe they
like-
have their first show coming out in the fall, and then they
Yeah.
have their first animated series coming out in spring of 2023.
Yeah.
I believe so. I think that's
And-
the timeline.
And I think that this is incredibly important.
Mhm.
I mean, I feel like this would fall into like something like for the entertainment or something. But at the
Mhm.
same time, I feel like this is very important on a serious note because us being new parents, like I'm thinking, what is my kid gonna watch on television?
Yeah,
you know what
you
I
know,
mean? Like,
I often think like if there's still the ability to access like some of the stuff that like I watched as a kid.
yeah,
Because I know it's safe content, it's like stuff that I was raised on, stuff that I grew up on, and I know that the content is safe.
yeah,
So I think to myself, like I think back on shows that I used to watch, like Fraggle Rock and stuff like that. Like that, I know
Yeah.
I know it's safe entertainment, and I think
like Doug.
can you like order it?
Oh man, Doug
Yeah,
was good.
Yeah, can you order it? What did we just watch? We watched an episode of Pepper Ann the other night. So I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I used to watch Pepper Ann all the time, and
Yeah.
it was like about 2 seconds in, and we could remember the whole theme song.
Yeah.
So there's safe shows that we used to watch as kids, and I think about whether I would have the ability to access them, now, because I think a lot of the shows that are even if you look at Nickelodeon with Doc McStuffins,
Yep.
Doc McStuffins now promotes homosexual relationships.
Yep.
One of Doc's friends' parents are a same-sex couple.
And that was, gosh, I think that was like back in like 2017 now. So that was like 5 years ago that they were
Disney-
starting to do this stuff.
Yep, Disney has had a few same-sex couple shows. I'm not sure if they've gotten into their children's programming yet, but like their their
Their
tween
teen shows, yeah, their
tween and
teen shows, yeah.
shows have now gotten into same-sex relationships, and I believe that they're even in works to develop some trans
Yeah,
storylines,
yeah,
but don't quote me on that because
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you like what show. But yeah, so I've
Yeah.
often thought about that.
Right.
How can we access safe
yeah.
things for our
Yeah.
child?
And I remember like shows that came out when I was I guess in that preteen teen era, shows
Mhm.
that were coming out for kids like the Wiggles and stuff like that. Like
Mhm.
it was eccentric and different,
Mhm.
but at least like it was educating kids. Like it was
Mhm.
teaching kids how to spell. It was
Mhm.
teaching kids 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, stuff like that. Nowadays, shows are not educating your kids. It's
Mm-mm.
literally indoctrination.
Mhm.
It's so scary that it's like literally preparing. It's like building robots.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like it's telling kids that like, oh, if you start to question whether or not you're a boy or a girl, that's okay. You
Mhm.
can act on those things, stuff like
Mhm.
that. Like, I don't want my child watching that. Like to me,
Right.
that's like there are things on television targeted to kids
Mhm.
that is literally child abuse,
Mhm.
and like the Daily Wire. Like obviously, this is something that they're going to bank on. They're
Mhm.
going to take this to the bank. Like people are going to watch
I
this,
hope so.
even people who aren't conservative, like
Mhm.
just people who want to watch something that they know is not going to try to indoctrinate their child. They're going to
Right.
watch it.
Mhm.
So I really hope
There's
that
no political motive
Right.
behind, and I hope that I think that they will stick to it because they're pretty good about
yeah,
being honorable. But that's their goal, is to have no political motive behind their
Yeah.
stuff. To just simply be entertainment and like educational content for
Yeah.
your child, not sexual education, not political education, not
Yeah.
indoctrination,
Yeah.
but simply entertainment that you can feel safe that your child is watching.
Yeah, so I'm really happy about this,
Mhm.
and
They've really been branching out a lot too.
Yeah.
So they've got like what 3 movies, and they've got another one coming out relatively soon, like June, I think. Is that when it premieres?
I can't remember, but yeah, the Gina Carano movie I think is coming out this summer.
Yeah, I think it's either
It's either
like
May
June
or June. Yeah, or maybe even July.
somewhere in there, June or
Yeah.
July. That's coming out. So and they're in the works for other projects coming up, and I believe that they are planning a series as well.
Yeah, television series, which
Yeah.
I'm really excited about because I feel like not to go too off on a tangent, but we don't really have a lot of content, so I don't really care. I like.
Sure, you're supposed to say that out loud. It's supposed to be the quiet part.
Yeah, said the quiet part out loud.
Yikes.
But like I feel like I've been more apt to get involved in a series than movies lately.
Yeah.
I just like you
know me, I get really, I don't pay attention very well with movies.
Yeah.
They're usually like it's like usually too long for me, and I start like
in one sitting. Yeah.
I start like kind of getting a little lost and not paying attention.
Don't get me wrong, like I
So.
am a movie fan. I love movies, and I'll continue to watch them. But like if I'm looking for something to like watch like in the evening and stuff, I like limited series. I think limited series is like really good because it's like 5 or 6 episodes, easy to digest, and there usually it ends up being more content, like more plot, like and character development and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm all about character development. Where like movies nowadays, you have to try to cram, and that's why I think people get so bored with movies is that you have to cram. Okay, who is this character? What is their life story?
Right.
And what are they going through right now? You have to do that all in an hour and a half to 2.5 hours. And like, there's just so much coming at you. And even slow movies, it's like you have to like try to like get all the exposition. You have to try to like get everything, and then it's just so exhausting and draining. Or like,
and it's hard to really have good character development. I think in that short period of a time, it's really hard to establish good character development where you can do that throughout a series. And especially like I like what you were saying about like limited series or like smaller series, because some of our favorites like Black Mirror was one of our favorites. You have to be careful, there's some language in there, but Black Mirror is one of our favorites. I loved Broadchurch. Broadchurch is like
good.
3 seasons, and there's like a few episodes each season.
Yeah.
Loved Broadchurch. Loved David Tennant. He's awesome. My favorite doctor. He's hidden behind me.
Yeah,
He's behind me.
Yep. And there was Unbelievable. Unbelievable was great. You remember that one with the youngest actor from Last Man Standing.
Yeah, the one who played the daughter in Last Man Standing.
Yeah.
And it's got the older lady from we just watched another series with her. I can't remember her name.
Yeah, I can't remember her name.
She's played in quite a few things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a really good plug. It's got the one lady from this show and the other lady from this show. But yeah, Unbelievable. Unbelievable was great. That one you gotta have a strong stomach to watch it. Because it talks about some very real stuff and it's got some very real content. But fantastic, absolutely fantastic series. So yeah. That's some good stuff.
So like
Oh, Stranger Things is a series.
Yeah,
It's not a limited series, but it is a series we've gotten into.
But yeah, I like the format of show that most shows have been going to, where it's not like a season is not basically anything that's not cable television, right?
Yeah, right.
So like cable television, you have a 42-minute episode,
Mm-hmm.
and you usually have like 24, 25 episodes a season. Or I'd rather have a little bit longer episodes, maybe like an hour to an hour and a half, and have like 4 or 5. And that's pretty much what Britain television has been for the longest time.
Yeah.
And like Sherlock is like that and stuff like that. So I really like that format. The only drawback is that you have to wait so long because it's a lot of filming to do.
Yeah.
Like Stranger Things, like I know COVID and everything pushed that back, but we've been waiting since I think 2019, right? 2020, 2019, I think.
2019,
Yeah.
I think is when it came out, like summer
Yeah.
of 2019 or November of 2019, something like that. Yeah, it's been a long time. Oh, COVID did push that back. The writers were really excited though because because of COVID locking everything down, they were actually able to map out the
Yeah.
rest of the series. So they actually have the rest of the series mapped out, and they said that it is going to end with season 5. So season 4 is coming out relatively soon. It's going to end with season 5. So they already have everything completely developed, everything written as far as like what the storyline is going to be. So that's exciting because you kind of like know now where the finality is going to be, and you can kind of brace for that. So that's exciting.
Yeah. So
Just to, and we love Stranger Things so much. Just to throw that little plug out there, our kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our fur babies are actually named Hopper and 11.
Hopper and 11. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times.
So that was like one of the things that
11's a little bratty too.
she is a little bratty.
It's like
she's like bratty.
season. Is it season 3 that 11 goes through her little rebellious stage?
Yeah, her emo stage.
Yeah. That's our 11.
Yeah.
When you say 11 and she completely ignores you, yeah, that's her.
Just hopefully she doesn't have a little bit of blood coming out of her nose and then we all get
No.
flowing across the room.
No, yeah, she's not that powerful.
Yeah.
So
Not
although
yet.
she's half German Shepherd and she's getting pretty big. So
But yeah, to put this in a button, I'm really excited for the Daily Wire and the things that they're doing in the entertainment business, because looking for an alternative to Hollywood is far few between.
Also,
Few and far between.
if you need some razors, guys.
Yeah, razors, Harry's razors.
Jeremy's razors just blew Harry's razors out of the water.
Yep. Yeah.
Those razors were hairy. They weren't cutting anything. So Jeremy Boring had to come out with Jeremy's razors.
No.
Jeremy's razors are unwoke.
Yeah, so for those who don't keep up with it, like Daily Wire is one of my favorite kind of like entertainment / political, sources.
Mhm.
And a while back,
Love me some Ben Shapiro.
yeah, a while back, Michael Knowles did one of his shows, and he said something that was controversial.
I think he said, at first I thought it was a March of Dimes thing. I thought it was from his March of Dimes support, but it wasn't. It was, he basically stated that there's 2 genders.
2 genders, right. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. So he said it on his show that there are 2 genders, there's no wiggle room, which is something that we're pretty adamant about.
Can we get that? Can we get their advertisement up? Oh, probably. I don't know. We could probably get copyrighted for that, right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
If you have not seen it yet, you should definitely
Yeah.
look up their it's
The
their
Jeremy's Razor ad.
It's
Yeah,
their ad for
it's
Jeremy's
good.
razors. It's great. It kind of tells you a little bit about the
Yeah.
background of Jeremy's razors, where it's
Yeah.
coming from.
And it's just
and
over the
it's-
top.
it's very over the
highly
top.
budget, high
It's
production. It's
really
awesome.
funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's cute. I
But
liked it.
yeah, so Michael Knowles got flack from that by a user on Twitter that had literally, I kid you not, 1 follower.
1 follower. Oh my gosh, we have like 32 followers. What could we do with that
What
influence?
could we do with that?
Who could we take out?
Yeah. So Harry's Razors saw that this Twitter user was offended by what Michael Knowles said, and they decided to drop Michael Knowles as a sponsor.
Mhm.
And Michael
Harry's
Knowles,
went woke, and
Yeah.
now they're broke.
now they're broke. And the Daily Wire reached out, said, this is what we believe. You knew this. This is what we believed.
Then the Daily Wire has it's not like you can sponsor the Daily Wire and be like, oh man, we didn't know you were conservative. Oh, we
Yeah.
didn't know you were anti-abortion. Oh, we didn't know you were pro-life. Oh, we didn't know that you believe there's 2 genders.
Yeah.
Like literally one of the most famous videos of Ben Shapiro is that girl asking, where does it say? Where does it
imply
that the
that Boy Scouts is for
only
boys?
for boys? And he said, in the name, Boy Scouts. It's one of the most famous Ben Shapiro videos.
Yeah.
Probably watched more than most other of his content because it's so good, and
Yeah.
everybody just like just rolls. Every time you see it, I love it. Every time I see it, I laugh because it's just like he just schools this girl in the most simple way. But you can't advertise for them and be like, oh, we didn't know
Yeah.
that you supported these things.
Yes.
Of course you knew. They're very open. There's no hidden. I mean, Michael Knowles is very open about his beliefs.
Traditional Catholic.
He's Catholic.
Yeah.
He's very traditional. He's very open. They're all very open about their beliefs.
Mhm.
And not always do they all agree with each other, but in the general sense, they're all pro-life. They all believe there's 2 genders. They all believe that being transgender is a mental illness.
Mhm.
Like they all believe the same general
Right.
moral beliefs.
Yep.
So
So yeah, it's and they're always going to be transparent about it because
Right.
that they're one of the big proponents of the way that the fourth estate and the media have said that they're not biased. Like they're supposed to be objective journalism, and obviously they're not. And
Right.
so they're one of the ones that are very open about their conservative message. With that still being said, I feel like there is content for everybody. Even if you're of the political left, even watching Ben Shapiro's show, even if you're of the political left, like, I mean, you can regurgitate it. Like,
Right.
you can digest it. You could see what the point of view is. Where, like, I feel like I legitimately actually try to watch stuff like the Young Turks and Pod Save America, and I cannot digest it.
Yeah.
I cannot, because they do not say one thing factual at all.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
Ever. Just this past week, I commented about it on Facebook because somebody shared a clip. I can't remember the chick's name, the co-host on the Young Turks, the blonde chick, but she was literally, not to be ironic about it, but literally preaching in the camera about Christians pushing their biblical views on her. She says, I don't care like what the Bible says. I don't stop using verses and stuff to try to get me to believe this political issue or whatever. And granted, I understand that there is a very, very small fraction of Christians who push their political beliefs with the Bible. But my comment on Facebook was like, this is literally what the left does with their political religion. Is they say, oh, this is what the right thing is, and you have to.
Yep.
You have to believe this, otherwise you're a bigot, otherwise you're a racist. And I'm thinking to myself, how could you be so adamant and so mad about Christians referring to the Bible when literally you are engulfed in a
Right.
woke religion?
Right.
You are engulfed in a political religion that oppresses, that suppresses, and that pushes their belief on everybody in America.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Because there's not room for both sides when
Yeah.
you are on the liberal side of things. So as Christian conservatives, we recognize that everybody has their own opinion. As Christian conservatives, we recognize that not everybody's opinion lines up with ours, and not everybody's opinion lines up with our moral beliefs, with the Bible, with the Word. We recognize that, and so we will advocate for our beliefs, and we will advocate for our point, and we will do so using facts. But we recognize at the end of the day that it's your right to believe whatever you want to believe.
Yeah.
And the left does not have that same respect for the
Right,
right.
right.
The left says, if you don't believe what I believe, then you're a bad person. You're a bigot. You're a hater. You are suppressing women. You are oppressing women. You are all of this garbage because you don't believe what they believe. And so
Right.
there's not room on both sides for
Right.
that respect.
And it's funny because when you call out somebody who was on the far political left, if you say this is morally wrong, then they'll say it's a free country. I can believe what I want.
Right. Right.
But if I say that I don't want my child to go to a public school and learn about 1 million genders,
Right.
then
You don't want your kindergartner to learn how to masturbate from
Yeah.
their teacher?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't want that to happen, then you're a bad person.
Yeah,
You don't say gay or whatever
yeah.
thing that they keep talking about in
Yeah.
Florida.
Which everybody overcompensates with the don't say gay bill. Everybody overcompensates by just saying gay. Like
Yeah.
they're just like little children.
That was Mark Hamill's response.
Yeah.
His response to the don't say gay bill. That's what they're calling it. The liberals.
Yeah.
His response was gay.
Well, yeah, we're coming up on
Luke Skywalker.
our
man.
time limit. Do you want to talk about this last thing, or do you want to?
I do. I think we should just throw this out there. I find it really interesting. So everybody knows I'm a Steelers fan.
Yeah.
We've talked about it before. Not a Mike Tomlin fan, just to be clear. Though there is a separation in the Steelers fandom. But Mike Tomlin came out in February. I think it was
Possibly,
February.
yeah.
And hired former Dolphins head coach Brian Flores.
Yeah.
Brian Flores was suing the NFL because he said that he has been unfairly treated because of his race. So he argued that he was fired from the Dolphins because of his race, not because they were terrible for like the first 10 games of the season, but because of his race. And that when he applied to,
Yeah.
or when he interviewed to work in Denver as the head coach in Denver, that he was discriminated against because he's black, and he was not hired because he's black, which is ironic because didn't Denver hire another black coach?
Yeah, I mean, well,
Their head coach ended up being another black person, correct?
before him. It was Vance Joseph. We had Vance
okay.
Joseph before him.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then he said that he accused the same thing with the New York Giants. And he basically said that, and then he interviewed, I believe it was with the Texans shortly after being dismissed from the Dolphins.
Yeah.
He interviewed with the Texans. The Texans actually hired a black head coach. So then Brian Flores accused the Texans of racially profiling him because of his lawsuit against the NFL. So they said that he didn't get hired because he's a black coach who was calling out racism in the NFL, which is ironic because most of the highest paid players in the NFL are black people.
Of a minority race, yeah.
They're usually your receivers. They're usually your running backs. Highly minorities. In those positions.
Yeah, I think like the biggest
your offensive line, they don't get paid $19 million a year. They're usually big white guys or so. You know what I'm saying? So
and I think the only biggest like kickback that somebody could say is, well, the quarterback is the most desired position and it's predominantly white. But the thing is that like there have been plenty of black quarterbacks. Like I'm so ecstatic to have Russell Wilson as our quarterback in the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
I don't care what color he is. But
I honestly like it. It's really frustrating to me because I don't understand why anybody cares what color anybody is in any position.
Yeah.
I think if you are good at your job, then you should be compensated for that, and you should be hired into that position because you are good at it.
But who does?
Not because you are black.
Care?
So Mike Tomlin cares.
Oh, Mike Tomlin cares?
And the NFL cares.
And the NFL cares.
The NFL cares now.
Interesting.
So Mike Tomlin came out. He hired Brian Flores to be our assistant offensive line.
Assistant to the general manager.
Honestly, he's like Dwight Schrute.
Dwight Schrute.
And then he's like some sort of special teams
safety coach or something like that.
Something. Yeah. I honestly, like, when I saw it, I just like I eye rolled and I was like, this is a race thing.
Yeah.
They just hired him because he is black and he has a lawsuit against the NFL, and it's stupid because it's unwanted negative attention. In my opinion, I don't like it. Not because I don't think that Brian Flores is probably going to be a decent offensive line coach, but because I don't like the drama.
He's got good football sense. I mean, he was good enough to get hired as a head coach. Right. So I mean, like, basically in the NFL, if you doesn't matter how bad the team is, if you're good enough to get hired as a head coach, then you have enough football sense to do something productive in the NFL.
Right. So he accused the Dolphins of hiring him as a head coach because he's black, and then also firing him because he's black. So I don't know. There's some they were trying to fulfill their minority obligation or something.
Yeah. So what causes all this controversy?
So this becomes upsetting because the NFL then decided to review their hiring process.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So they reviewed their hiring process, and the NFL has just announced that it is requiring, and this is according to the Daily Wire, but you could look this up on any network. Yeah. They are requiring all 32 teams to hire a minority offensive assistant coach for the 2022 off season.
Wow.
Season, excuse me. So basically, what falls up under that category is anybody of a minority race or a female.
You know what would be so funny is that if all 32 teams just hire a white straight female.
Hire a woman.
A white straight female
woman for that position, just to tick off the NFL for trying to make them hire somebody based on color rather than based on their qualification.
Yeah.
And this is not to say that there are not people qualified for this position. It is absolutely ridiculous that
no, but stuff like this does the absolute opposite.
The opposite, because now what happens is that unqualified people are going to be hired for a position just to fulfill a minority requirement, and that is not fair to people who actually have earned the right to be in that position. And so Mike Tomlin came out in defense of this, and he said that the reason that they had hired Brian Flores is because he basically needed to help a brother out, and that he knew Brian Flores had been targeted, so in order to help him out, he was hiring him, and I think that that's crazy. If you hired him for any other reason than his resume, then you hired him for the wrong reason. If there was any decision making that had anything to do with him getting hired that was not because of his qualification for that position, then it was a wrong hire, and it's absolutely ridiculous that it happened. But he also came out in defense of this minority offensive assistant coach hiring rule, and he said that this is a good thing because most head coaches come from the offense. Most head coaches come from an offensive coaching position, and that the majority of offensive coaches are white people. So in order to make the league more minority friendly, basically, as far as head coaches go, you have to require these teams to put a minority in that position so that it opens up more doors for minorities in the future. But once again,
if you have any question about the, like, you know, there are people who are very much in the middle of the road that just don't understand. They don't have the foresight, or they don't think of the opposite. They just think of what it is on face value. I'm not trying to insult any of those people. I'm trying to help those people, because you look at this and say, you know, it's a good thing that the NFL, they have good intentions. They want to get more minorities involved. But think of that from the opposite perspective. So you want to get more minorities involved in a position because it's predominantly white.
Right.
Okay. Let me introduce this rule now. You have to have just as many white people in basketball than there are black people, because the white people are a minority in basketball.
Let's go even further. All hospitals have to hire a minority brain surgeon.
Yeah.
Whether they are qualified for the position or not, all hospitals are required to hire a minority brain surgeon. Now, how would you feel going into a hospital to have your brain tumor removed by somebody who got hired for the position because they are a minority and not because they are qualified?
There are plenty of, it's sad, but now there are lots of things in this country that Prager University video that we watched recently about, there is systemic racism in this country now.
That's systemic racism.
And the systemic racism is things like affirmative action, things like the Rooney Law, you know, things that were like schools
Steelers
and
fans.
Schools and academia and, you know, companies that require to meet a quota. It's now creating a systemic racist society.
Yes, it is.
And we're gonna end up going backwards because in the name of trying to, I don't know, they're literally creating the thing that they're trying to prevent, I guess. Like it to me, like it doesn't make any sense, and it's very dangerous, and it's important to talk about this stuff. Like, I mean, even if you don't care about the NFL, like this should still, because the NFL is a very influential organization in the United States. It's still something that we should talk about, and it's still something that we should bring to light as if you're not a sports fan, because imagine if the company that you work for, your position now has to be required to meet a certain amount of minorities.
And this is not something we say as like, like anti-minority hiring. It's something we say as in pro-qualification hiring. Because I don't care what color or what gender or what you do on the weekends or what you wear when you walk around your home or how many dogs you have or how many children you have or what shows you watch. I literally don't care about any of that, as long as you are qualified for the position that you are in. I don't care what you do in your off time. I don't care what you look like in the mirror. I don't care how you shave your legs. I literally don't care about any of that as long as you are qualified for the position that you work in, which is clearly why we're here at this podcast, because we are qualified.
We're qualified.
Yes.
All right, we're coming up almost on an hour. I want to try to get out of here under that. So
get out of here.
Do you have a rec for this week? We're doing this new thing where we are going to give recommendations.
A rec. I was so lost. I was like, "What's a rec?"
Yeah, we're gonna call it a rec because we're hip.
Rec. I was thinking of car videos. So do I have a rec, man? I know I saw one.
So,
what's your rec for the week?
So yeah, we're what we're gonna do is at the end of every episode, we're gonna say something that we recommend you to either check out or look into, whether it be like entertainment, a book, or something. This week,
we recommend For the Republic.
We recommend For the Republic. Check them out. Really good podcast. My
Follow
rec,
us on TikTok.
my rec this week is I guess just Ryan Reynolds is going to be
Ryan
my
Reynolds.
my rec, and the reason why I say Ryan Reynolds is because his projects recently I think have been pretty good.
Yes.
And particularly wholesome, mostly family fun. Good comedy.
Yeah.
It's very hard these days to find genuine comedy that's not,
Yeah.
either censored or is like geared to be overly sensitive.
Yeah, just a disclaimer, you do have to be a little careful with language when it comes to Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Even in his most recent stuff. But yes.
Most recent stuff they are geared to like adults, but it's a very much a contrast to something like Deadpool.
Right.
And that was like one of the things that I wanted to say is that a lot of people find Deadpool funny, and yes, Ryan Reynolds' performance in those movies were great, and the funny, gory,
I've
over
never
the
seen them.
over the topness is funny. But there's a lot of raunchy stuff in there, especially like if you're a conservative Christian household, and you want to be careful of that stuff. I totally understand that. But this is like a good alternative, and you're not sacrificing any comedy. You're not sacrificing any comedic effect that he brings. And his acting has been great. So Free Guy, Red Notice. There's another one where I can't remember
The space one.
the space where he goes back in time.
Yeah. Really look it
And
up.
talks to his younger self. It's a Netflix flick, so you'll find it in the movies. Just look up Ryan Reynolds.
I can't remember what the name of it is.
I can't remember what the name it is, but
It's very good though.
those three in particular have been fantastic, and that's my rec for the week.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, what do you got for this week?
I did not realize we were doing 2 separate recommendations.
Oh no,
I didn't have any.
You got a rec, and I got a rec.
Shoot, Have you seen For the Republic? I didn't come up with a recommendation. I thought you were just coming up with one thing for the week to recommend.
All right, no, that's not wrong.
Okay. I can recommend the new Kia Forte GT 2022.
Yep. We finally were able to get a new car. We thank you, Lord, for blessing us with a new car.
As he drops to his knees in the parking lot.
Thank you. There is a God. Yeah, we have been blessed with a new vehicle, and we got the 2022 Forte, Kia Forte GT.
Yeah, had to get it with a turbo engine just for our baby.
Oh yeah, just for the baby. We gotta bob and weave through traffic.
I've asked multiple times why we needed a turbo vehicle.
It's great. It's a great
Apparently
value.
It's for the baby.
A lot of great things
in case
in the
we
car.
have to flee from a zombie apocalypse or like a volcano.
Oh man.
That's why we needed the turbo engine to protect our baby from zombies and volcanoes.
Yeah, dude. If there is a zombie apocalypse, then we got to make sure we reinforce the car because I don't want to get it all dented
The
up.
thing is, I don't really know that we could use that car because I think we'd need like an off-road vehicle.
Yeah, most. I mean,
Have you seen The Walking Dead?
yeah. I mean, most
People
likely.
in cars don't make it.
Well, I mean, if you reach out to us, because if you're handy with vehicles and makeshift stuff, we're coming to you for to modify our car during the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
We can get some off-road tires
During
on
it?
there.
Or like in advance, like if we know it's coming.
Yeah, if we know it's coming.
If we know it's coming.
Yeah.
Because
Well, once we're in the thick of it, they could already be a
they
zombie.
could already be a zombie.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking. Like you go to get your car worked on and then like he jumps out from under the hood and
Yeah.
he's a zombie and bites your face.
Jumps out from under
Yeah.
He just goes. He's like, all right, I'll get started. Goes underneath the car, and then he just
Yeah.
comes out a zombie.
Yeah. Well, he obviously had been previously infected.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as he's working on the vehicle, inhales some fumes, dies. Boom, zombie.
Oh, okay. So, do you think the zombie apocalypse is going to be one of those situations where like everybody's infected, like The Walking Dead? Spoiler alert.
I don't know. I is that a spoiler alert? Because you find that out in season 1, so I'm not sure it's a spoiler. At this point, like 12 seasons in, I don't think it's a spoiler alert anymore. But I don't know. Honestly, I don't believe. I know there's a lot of people who are honest to goodness zombie believers, but I don't actually believe that zombieism can exist. I do think a more likely scenario would be speaking of Will Smith and his slapstick comedy.
I was just gonna say,
I Am Legend.
I Am Legend.
I feel like that's more of a believable scenario that people took the corona virus
vaccine.
and then eventually they turn into some sort of like crazy monster type person.
Yeah.
And that there could be a cure for it because they're still alive.
Yeah,
like
right.
they're still
they still have a soul.
I don't think that you could actually die and then come back because we believe that people have a spirit and a soul. And once you die, your spirit leaves your body and ascends into judgment. So whether you go to heaven or hell. And so I don't think that you could die and then your body come back without the ability to have a spirit and soul.
Right, yeah.
Which is what zombieism is. So I think it's highly it's way more credible to believe something like I Am Legend could exist.
Yeah. It's actually
but volcanoes are real.
Yeah, you may think like it's frivolous to waste your time thinking about this, but it's actually something very interesting to think about because have been proven that stuff like ants, like there are such thing as zombie ants where they will actually die and come back to life and have certain sensors still work. But we don't, most people, it's kind of controversial in the Christian space. Most people don't believe that animals have spirits and souls.
Some people don't believe animals go to heaven. But I saw the movie All Dogs Go to Heaven.
All Dogs Go to Heaven.
So I know. And All Dogs Go to Heaven too. I've seen them both.
But yeah, there are such thing as zombie ants. So zombieism in itself is not necessarily something that's impossible for animals.
There are certain parasites that can also affect the brain of animals, and they will call that like zombie behavior because the animal no longer is in control of their own brain. Their brain is actually completely disabled because it's been taken over by the parasites, and eventually the animal will die because their brain no longer functions correctly. So eventually they die.
Those who are like lost in this conversation and know nothing about zombieism, this is insert nerd alert here. For it to actually be considered a zombie, one would have to physically die. Otherwise, if you can act like a zombie and appear like a zombie, and you would just be called infected.
Yeah,
but
DED.
For the actual to say zombie, it would be you would die and come back.
You would die and come back.
Yeah. So.
Do you think people have had like death experiences on the table in a hospital? Do you think you could technically consider them a zombie?
Yeah.
Because they have died, but then they were brought back.
No, because there's no alternation. Yeah. Now, if somebody had like a lobotomy, and like the lobotomy like actually killed them, and then they got a new brain, and then they came back, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but then they wouldn't be the same person because they wouldn't have the same brain. It'd be a different person, but
you think the soul's attached to a
same
brain?
Body. Well, yeah, I mean, like it's all together.
Dude, think about that.
Because your brain is like your brain is all of your function. It's your personality. It's all of your function. So if you had a new brain, it would be a totally different person. Because they've talked about that, like brain transplants for people who are terminally ill. Like that's something that they are trying to like.
Right.
I think I don't see how it's possible. I don't know that God would let mankind develop
That's
the
very
ability
interesting,
to
though.
do brain transplants, but that it is something that they are trying.
Yeah.
So if you were like terminally ill, we could put your brain in, say, Hugh Jackman's body.
I don't know have you ever heard of Have you ever heard of Vsauce?
No.
Okay.
Well,
so,
I mean, I've heard you say
that. So Vsauce was like really popular on YouTube back in the day. And he has his own YouTube show. I know we're going long, but whatever.
Have you seen For the Republic?
But he has his own like YouTube show now, but he uploaded videos, and he's like a scientist, and one of his episodes was about how like our body is constantly reproducing cells, and by you reaching a certain age, you're like not the original you. Like we've
like your cells have completely regenerated.
Yeah, so it's very interesting. Like it's like with that paradox where you have a ship, and then if you continuously repair parts on the ship, and then eventually you've repaired all of the parts on the ship, is it the same ship?
It's like Newsboys.
That's a good joke. That's a good way to end it. All right.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good week. We'll see you.
Blessed week.
Yeah, blessed week.